Broadcasting live from Youngville, North Carolina and Ontario, Canada. This is Got Mead Live, a weekly show where Vicky Rowe and AJ Airmans bring you the mead news, meadery info, and mead-making discussions from all over, talking with mead makers, mead owners, industry mavens, and influencers. This is Got Mead Live, a weekly podcast about mead and the people who love it and where the mead world is going. And now here are your hosts, Got Mead owner Vicky Rowe and mead and wine maker AJ Airmans.
And we're back. Welcome to Got Mead Live from the Den of the Puppies of the Apocalypse in northern Michigan, the Bunny Pen in Ottawa, Canada, with a new bunny resident and the palatial retirement estate in Minnesota that is totally freezing right now. It is Got Me Live. Welcome to the show. Excuse me. I want to thank all the folks who have renewed or signed up for a Got Mead patron membership over the past few weeks. You are appreciated. Hopefully more people will sign up because we're getting low and slow here, and it's going to get to the point where I have to take this all apart if I don't find some more income. In any case, though, for those of you that are signed up, thank you so much. And if you're thinking about doing it, it's only $30 a year, about 50 cents a week. And that gets you access to the patron boards in the Got Mead forum or patron Facebook group. There are some really good recipes in there. You can just go to gotmead.com/community and you can actually sign up free for the forum there. And then if you want to upgrade, you can upgrade from there as well, just once you're logged in and on your ID page. If you want to listen to us live, we're on YouTube, Twitch, X, and Facebook on the Got Mead page. So on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/meadwench. YouTube is youtube.com/@gotmead. X is x.com/realgotmead. Facebook is facebook.com/gotmead. And Instagram is instagram.com/gotmead. And then, of course, we have our chat on Discord. And the link for that is in the post that I put up all over social media. Because it's long and complicated and I don't remember what it was. If you're looking to just hang out with us on social, of course, on Facebook, we're facebook.com/gotmead. Our main group is facebook.com/groups/gotmead. On X, we are @realgotmead. So feel free to tweet. And if you want to send us questions, comments, things that you think we need to be doing, people you think we need to be talking to, you can go to gotmead.com. Click, but do not click Got Mead Live Radio Show, but don't click that. Put your mouse over it. Click the drop down, and that'll take you to a form that comes to all three of us so that we will see it. I want to do a shout out to our fine sponsors, Honeybrook Craft Mead. Discover Honeybrook Craft Mead with 2 Colorado locations to serve you. Visit our original Castle Rock tasting room and production facility or our brand new Littleton Mead Cottage and Garden. Choose from our 20 taps of wonderful, light, and refreshing craft mead. Find us using your favorite map app or visit us at honeybrook.com. That's HONNI brook.com. And with that, let's get with our lovely guests. Lauren and Matt Bløm from Bløm Meadery are here tonight. And let's see what we're all drinking. Who wants to go first?
Well, I guess I could start. This evening, I've opened a bottle of Cherry Stealth Bomber from Impossible Meadery.
Nice.
This was barrel aged for 15 months in bourbon and rye whiskey barrels. You can smell the barrels right out of the pour, and then the cherries let you know they're there. There are some complex spicy notes layering in before you take the first sip. The initial taste is smooth and viscous with cooked and fresh cherries, and then the barrels come forward with some booze, oak, and light vanilla in the finish. This is complex and delightful. If you can get your hands on one, I would recommend that you do so.
Oh, I've got the last of Vicky's Chamerlot. Straight from the flip-top bottle because I'm a boar and I don't trust the rabbit around a wine glass.
Okay.
Okay, I was wondering what that was supposed to say in there. Okay, I grabbed a can of RB&B mead from Ottawa Meadery there in North Georgia, and this was what he sent to me when he sent me the pawpaws. And I'm saving the pawpaw mead for when we do have him on after the first of the year. So this is a session strength raspberry, blueberry, and blackberry melomel. The aroma is very fruit forward. You get slapped in the face with fruit as soon as you stick your nose in there. Tons of berries going on. It's rich and it has really great body. It's not, thinnish like a lot of sessions can be. I know, Kevin, if you do it right, it's not, but there's a lot of them out there that have thinner stuff. The flavor is honeyed berries, basically, and it's very fresh and clean. It's like walking through a fruit field. Really long berry finish. I really like this. It's an easy drinker. It's only 5%. So if you want to get you some, I think this is one of their corner meads, Airbnb, and you can get it at ottawameadery.com. What about you guys, Lauren and Matt?
I've got I like to stash away some cans of our rhubarb mead even after it's left the tap room because it's my favorite year round.
Oh yeah, I don't blame you. That'd be good.
Rhubarb season is over, so
yeah.
It's real dry and minerally and tart, and to me it's just really refreshing. And it's not often that I get to taste rhubarb without the sweetness of something else behind it, either strawberries or some kind of sugar. So for me, just like pure rhubarb taste is the best rhubarb.
Okay.
Yep.
Can't argue with you. I love rhubarb.
Yeah. And I honestly, I'm drinking water, but I was at the end of my shift, and the last thing I was tasting was we've been working with fig leaves, and I was playing with the fig leaves to see what kind of flavors we could get out of them, and they're very coconut forward. I don't know if anybody's played much with fig leaves, but
played with figs, but leaves are.
That's why I'm drinking water now, is because I was, tasting earlier. So
okay, fig leaves. How interesting.
Yeah, we hadn't played with those before, but we macerated those. And the flavor that comes out is almost like coconut husk or coconut skin kind of like a fresh coconut. It's almost maybe a little nutty even behind that.
Yeah.
It's so
aromatic is like, it smells more like a pina colada, but then when you like keep smelling, you get into like the husk of the coconut too.
Yeah, it's got a real tropical nose on it.
All right, so I got to know the thought process we're going to make a mead and let's use fig leaves. And then are you going to call it after Eden or something like that?
So we like to, figure out what we can get our hands on from farmers in the, here in Michigan. And sometimes we're just playing with ingredients to play with them, not necessarily with a specific goal in mind. But this case, we're just trying to see what we can do with the fig leaves. We found out that there was a farm outside of Ann Arbor that grows fig trees in hoop houses, and they sell the leaves. There's a restaurant around the corner from us that uses them, I think, in presentation. I don't think they actually cook with them. But we found out we could get our hands on some. We're like, let's buy some and see what they do because because we had heard somewhere along the line somebody was talking about using them. So we thought we didn't even know we could have access to them. So because we choose to source all of our raw materials from here in Michigan, and usually I wouldn't think of fig leaves as being a Michigan thing. So as soon as we
I didn't even know figs grew up here.
Yeah,
and I think there's a specific varietal called the Hardy fig or Chicago Hardy fig that is okay overwintering here.
And I got to admit to wondering, what is the restaurant doing with them? You said a restaurant was buying these from them. Yeah, you're a foodie, Lauren.
Yeah, I think what Matt's referring to, there's a local chef. He mostly does like private chef work here. His name's Will Brinkerhoff, and he's the son of the folks that own Argus Farm Stop here in town. He's a really phenomenal chef. So I think he, I can't remember if he was just using them to kind of like create some presentation boards for food that he was serving, or it might have been a dish where he was maybe wrapping fish in fig leaves and steaming it. And I want to say that Spencer, which is a restaurant here in Ann Arbor, has also done some like steamed and cooked dishes wrapped in fig leaves.
Interesting.
I know.
Now I'm going to be really curious to see how this turns out. I'm assuming fig leaves are on the GRAS for meaderies.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as we know.
Yeah. Well, it's just weird because it's not an even playing field. It's like, butterfly pea blossom, breweries can use it, but meaderies can't. Why?
Yeah. Yeah,
because-
fun. That's like one of the nice things about kind of limiting ourselves to Michigan ingredients is it forces us to get really creative about what's here.
Well, I'll bet.
Yeah, this isn't anything that we've submitted to the TTB right now. It's just something we're playing with to see what they taste like. So,
Well, if you do end up making one out of that, I want to try that.
Yeah, we do too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really cool. I would never have. I was so like left field. I never would have thought of that. That was a great idea.
Yeah, we weren't even sure how to begin playing with them. Some people talked about, macerating them in alcohol. Some people made a syrup out of them. A lot of people toasted them first. So this is kind of the initial testing processes to see how we can extract the most flavor.
Okay.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any
It
other
is.
leaves? Any other leaves people have worked with or particularly like?
I want to say somebody had done with maple leaves.
Maple
Oh.
leaves. Ooh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah,
I did.
no,
I did that, and
was
be
it?
careful. It actually gives more maple flavor than if you try to ferment maple syrup dry.
Ugh,
But
yeah. Uh-huh.
as I read, you do have to be careful with it because there are components in the maple leaves that can start breaking down red blood cells.
Oh, that's
So,
good to know.
Good.
I don't know that it's a good thing to. I mean, I never had any problems with it, but it's one of those things where, like, I don't think I would put this for sale. I know it's the red maple, but I have no way of knowing what maple leaves that I was gathering because
You know,
there's a whole
that's-
lot of different maples. So that's one of those things you do have to be careful with when foraging.
yeah.
One of the few batches we've ever dumped was an early batch of our blueberry maple, where we added some of the maple during pre-fermentation, and it just, when we do tours, and because people ask us all the time, oh my gosh, how often do you have to dump a batch, or how often do you have to get rid of something? And it's not very often, but that was one of them. And fermentation it tasted like wood chips. It was terrible.
Like the bad
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, it
Okay.
tasted like you were eating a gerbil cage.
Oh boy,
It was-
delightful.
That's
Yeah.
better than my
Really
description of
sounds
buckwheat
delightful.
honey.
Yep.
And I've had plenty of good meads that had maple syrup that was fermented out and dry and stuff. But the maple we were working with, the way with the yeast or whatever it was, I don't know, it just didn't mesh.
Didn't work.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
why
I usually
maple we back sweeten with maple. We don't ferment it.
I ferment it, but not on its own. I always make sure that there's more honey than maple when I'm fermenting.
Yeah.
Like I use about 1 kilogram of honey to a 540 milliliter can of maple syrup, and that comes out pretty nice. Although I tried updating my methods once to be nice to my yeast, and it was terrible. So I'm just gonna go back to my yeast methods with that one.
Stick with what's good.
Yeah, when EC 1118 stops at around 13-14%, you've done something wrong, but it was a really good wrong. And I got it really consistent because that's where it always wanted to stop.
That's funny.
Just capping out on nutrient.
No, I gave it nutrients. I gave it Energizer. It's just when I tried doing staggered nutrient and not adding acidity. And I think with maple, it's okay to add acidity because I think maple syrup itself is alkaline. But I formulated.
I've never measured it, but that would make sense.
Yeah, I formulated my original recipe before I knew you weren't supposed to add your acid up front from an old winemaking book before I really found Got Mead and learned better. And it works. So I keep doing it wrong because it tastes good.
I love it.
I want to say Talkington did one with oak leaves or walnut leaves. Maybe walnut leaves.
Oak leaves, I believe, are perfectly safe to use. I've seen recipes for oak leaf wine.
Yeah.
That's interesting. What kind of flavor?
Yeah.
Are they giving an oaky flavor or?
I don't know. I haven't had that one yet. So.
Are they running them green or dry?
Probably green would be my guess. I'll have to ask him. It's time we had him on again anytime anyway. So
The microphone was a little hard to hear. Our speaker was a little hard to hear. Who was it you said that was playing with that?
John Talkington at Birmingham in Delaware.
Fun.
He has worked with all kinds of oddball stuff that most meaderies never touch. So,
and I think Hierophant is another one that you can look at, because they do all kinds of interesting forage.
Their marshmallow mead that's made from mallow plants, and it tastes like the drinks from the honeydew in Harry Potter. Oh. But it says they're both of them. They're both professional herbalists.
Yeah, that's handy.
I do not have a green thumb. That's one thing I we really, really struggle with plants. I've tried so many different things and it never works.
Yeah. I hear you. I have to work hard at it. I've got this constant thing of where I want to start a little herb garden in my big window on the south side of the house, and it'd be really great, except for they always die.
Yeah. We plant a pretty big garden every year, and once in a while we get something out of it.
Yeah, exactly. The same kind of thing.
I got 70 liters of tomatoes out of mine.
Whoo!
Yeah, I think I might cut back on how many I plant next year. That was a bit silly.
Yeah, she kept sending me pictures of trays and trays and trays of it.
I still have 3 trays.
That's when you're kicking yourself for all the work that it requires on the back end.
Well, I only garden once a week, so I pick them green and let them ripen in the living room. That's why there were so many. And then, of course, because Ontario, we had an early-ish for us in the last couple of years frost, so everything got picked.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Christian is on the chat asking, Christian, come over to the Discord, dude.
Discord?
Yeah, he's over on Facebook. He says, what about oak keys? Would it add some nutty flavors from the seed? I don't know. That's a good question. Carlos is on too. Hey, Carlos, come over to the Discord. Let's go and invite these guys.
Maple has keys, oak has acorns.
Okay.
Don't know what the... And you got to be careful eating acorns because there's stuff in there that you have to process out of.
Definitely. Yep.
And I don't know about maple keys. I don't see critters eating those.
Yeah. Well, oh shoot, which one is it? Walnut, I believe that nothing will grow under it unless they have the ability, except for gooseberries and a couple of other things, because there's too much. What thujol is it that comes up with?
Yeah, walnuts put down something that inhibits the growth of other woody plants.
Which is why you never see anything growing under walnut trees.
Right.
And I see
Doesn't
somebody
take that long afterwards to recover for the grass to grow, though.
No,
walnut leaves can be used in mead, and of course walnuts can be used as well. So
absolutely, yeah.
You wouldn't want to use the shell of the walnut because that tastes like chloroform,
Yeah.
I mean, it's got a very particular character to it that's not pleasant. You wouldn't want to use that in anything.
Rob was saying somebody is playing with raspberry leaves.
Right.
Which raspberry leaves are edible, but they're also an abortifacient. So pregnant women should never, ever touch raspberry leaves.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting kind of ingredients that you can use. I want to come back to the rhubarb thing. Do you have any idea what rhubarb varietals you've been getting from your source?
I know I've asked in the past, and I've got it written down in somewhere, but I'd have to go back and find it.
Okay, all right.
we buy our rhubarb from a farmer up on the Leelanau Peninsula in northern Michigan.
Way up by me.
Yep, his name is Alex, and his farm does not have a name, and it's his grandpa's rhubarb patch that he harvested from, and that's what I know about it.
I may have to pry his name out of you to get in touch with him, because my patch. Why my dad didn't have a patch going, because he loves rhubarb, and always used to. But if it's out there, I haven't found it yet.
Yeah.
I mean, which is possible that he grew one and it just kind of got overgrown by everything else because
It is possible to credit rhubarb. I've done it.
Yeah. So he may have lost it, but yeah, I would love to get some to put up for making pies and juice and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're on the north side of Lake Leelanau. It's Schwab Farms, but there isn't like an actual farm. That's where his parents live, but I don't know where the house was, but the rhubarb patch is about a half mile down the road there from their house. So. But it's enormous. Like the stalks on it are just
huge.
They're like, it's like
yeah, it is like ferngully.
Nice.
So is that the format that you get them in? You just get the raw stalks; they haven't been cut or anything like that.
Yeah, so we get the raw stalks, and then I work with a company called Farm to Freezer, or Michigan Farm to Freezer now. I guess they've changed their name, and they do the processing side of it for me. So I have Alex deliver it to them, and then they chop it down, and then basically package it down into 40-pound boxes, and then I freeze it. And then when I'm ready to use it, I pull it, thaw it, press it, and use the juice. And
has it been cooked at all, or is it all just
no, it's all
chopped
raw.
Fresh? Okay.
Just chopped fresh. So chopped down to about like roughly 3/4 inch pieces.
Sure. Okay.
That's
I was just curious because I make rhubarb every year, and I've tried like a half dozen different things with it, and I now finally, after all these years, have settled on something that I like. But it's always interesting to hear how things are being done by other people.
We had our rhubarb mead was the very first kind of like test batch that we homebrewed when we started thinking about opening Bløm, and so we knew we wanted to try a rhubarb mead, and we got some, and we tried so many ways of processing it to
it was like Laverne and Shirley,
to
like
juice it efficiently, and it was like blood from a stone. Like we ground it, we chopped it, we pressed it, and then like drip by drip it would come out, and then we decided to freeze it, and we thawed it, and the juice just poured out, and we were like, oh yeah, that's our
we didn't want to have to freeze it. That was like we knew that was an option, but we at the end we were like, this is the way it's going to have to be, and it's in a way it's kind of nice because it means that we have a predictable outcome from it. But
yeah.
And
if you want just the fresh juice, that's by far the easiest way to accomplish that. No question. Yeah.
And also, you can do it on your time scale instead of having to, oh my God, it's fresh now, do it now, do it now.
Yeah. Not like fresh hops.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I was just looking at different varieties of rhubarb to see if I could find any that were like triggering my memory. Like the Canada Red. The Canada Red is one of the names that's standing out to me right now. So I'm wondering if that's what they were growing or are growing, excuse me.
So Canada Red, the stalks tend to be a lot smaller than the typical thing that we have in North America. And they're a little sweeter as well.
Yeah. So the stalks on our stuff range from like the narrowest stuff would be about 3/4 inch to an inch to like up to 2 inches wide.
Well,
that's some honking rhubarb.
Probably not that then.
Yeah, that's some big stuff.
No, they're huge.
They're huge.
They're enormous.
Yeah, probably not Canada Red then.
Yeah.
I know they say the tiny ones are the tender ones, but like they all taste the same, and if you're gonna cook them, they all turn to mush.
Yeah.
Like,
I will say that late season rhubarb does not work as well. The oh shoot, what is that stuff called?
once it's bolted.
I don't even know if it has to do with the bolting.
Geez.
It's basically like a haze. It's almost like a protein. Let me see. I had an issue.
You don't mean pectin, do you?
No, it's not pectin. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that so negatively. So I'm trying to go back through. I worked with a friend of mine. You guys probably know Corey. Do you guys know Corey Amal over at EMU?
No, I don't know.
He helped me identify the basically it's the oxalate in the rhubarb goes up late in the season.
Okay.
And once that happens, the rhubarb's a lot harder to work with.
Right. Oxalic acid is what they produce.
Yeah.
I think when I've done rhubarb wines, I've treated a little bit with something to bring the pH back down.
Potassium carbonate, probably.
Yeah, I can't. Mine might be calcium carbonate. I was trying to remember exactly what I had. Been a while since I've done a batch where I've needed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But that and red currants, I pretty much usually do something with the pH adjustment when I start.
Yeah, so I come in with my rhubarb late in fermentation because it's so little sugar. Basically, I account for my math late, and then I add it when my fermentation only maybe has 5 or 10% left to go. So that helps me with letting my fermentation get along without the major pH shock.
Right.
So letting the yeast stay happy and healthy for as long as I can before I hit it with that. But then it still gives them enough activity to kind of roll through that little bit of sugar that's there.
Right. Yeah, so I'm assuming your sugar content, if you're doing a gravity reading, is probably something like 1.12 to 1.15, or 0.15 rather.
Yeah, it's right around. I say it in terms of 10-20.
Oh, really? That
That's the
high?
way I do
Okay.
I say my numbers, but yeah, to myself.
Uh-huh. Do you ever do your rhubarb with any other fruits? Strawberry's a classic one. Anything like that, or do you always just do it as a straight up rhubarb?
So we run our rhubarb mead, and then instead of back sweetening with fresh rhubarb juice like I do on the rhubarb, I split the batch and we back sweeten with strawberry juice for a strawberry rhubarb mead that we run out of the tap room.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah.
So
hard to beat strawberry and rhubarb.
I mean, it's watering it down a little bit with just using the juice as the back sweeten, but it
which
get it brighter.
I like
comes
it.
out at like 4 or 5.
4.5%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That time of year, I mean that one sells particularly well. It's
I bet.
low ABV, really refreshing, super fruity. Also, the smell in the tap room when we're pressing like 500
Not
pounds
bad.
of berries is so good.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike
sounds great.
Peaches are the ones that give you the big problem in the press.
Black currants and peaches, yeah.
There are a couple fruits that when we put them in the bladder press, they end up on the ceiling and the walls and.
Oh,
peaches.
I can totally see currants doing that.
You get a few. I call them bleeders.
Poppers.
Poppers.
You know when? Yeah.
Yeah, I would get that even just squeezing them through the mesh bag that I use.
Mm-hmm.
They'd pop and suddenly it'd spray across the room.
So I don't know if your bladder press has one of these things, but I have like a cover for mine. It's like a rubber coated sleeve that you can put over the press.
Mine came with basically a trash bag that it was shipped in that they were using.
All right.
Every time, I looked at the thing and I was like, I don't want to clean that. Like, no, I'd rather just clean my wall.
Oh, really? Okay, well, that's not the case here at the house, I will tell you. There might be some words spoken.
Yeah, I was going to say, that might be enough to get Mari to possibly even
yeah.
As
it is, I have to replace a couple of ceiling panels from an accident earlier this year, yeah.
Oops. Yeah, I haven't decorated
trench
basement
drains
here yet, so.
FRP, yeah.
Yeah, good drains and
Good wall
that's
coverings.
hilarious.
Yep.
Floor drains and washable walls. Yep.
Yeah, we have a growler membership program, and twice a year we bring the growler members in and we do some kind of activity with them, and sometimes it's a tasting, sometimes it's bench trials, and sometimes we put them to work pressing fruit. And occasionally it's been peaches or currants, which are the messiest. And we say, we really mean it when we say wear clothes you don't care about. Like it's not coming out. So
yeah.
Yep.
Those are like the ones that I've got for all the stuff I've been doing around the house that now paint splotches all over them. And
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or your painting clothes.
Yep, have my painting clothes. That's it. That and the ones that, because I keep getting bats from the wet tile saw.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I've got a rain jacket that looks like it's made out of stone now because this thing squirts water all over you, and it's like, so I put on goggles and a hat, tuck my hair up under the hat, and then I got overalls and a ratty old t-shirt, and then I zip up a rain jacket and pull up the hood, tie it down tight, and then I just close my eyes and hope I don't cut a finger off while I'm pushing this stuff through the saw. It's like, oh my god. Well, this is what I get for buying a cheap Chinese wet tile saw that was only $100, and it works fine, but you have to take the guard off. And when you do, to get I've got 1 by 2 foot tiles that I'm working with, and this thing's set up for like a standard 12 by 12 tile, and
Death by safety features, yeah.
Right, yeah. So remove the guard so that the thing will go all the way through, and then of course what it does is it sprays water in the ceiling and the walls. I'm gonna have to wash down the entire bathroom after I get done. I don't know.
It's one of those projects where you finish for the day and you take off your clothes and you stand them up in the corner and then you jump in the next day when you start
Pretty much, yeah. The jacket is laying over top of the shop vac right now.
Yeah, that feels right.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm gonna try washing it once I'm done with all of this, but I have no idea if that's gonna work. It might just be ruined, but it is what it is. I do the same thing when I'm making mead. I wear my painting clothes because I never know how much of a mess I'm gonna make of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, most of the messes you make when mead making are usually not something that stains, at least not permanently.
Well, it depends on if you're working with like deeply colored fruits. Yeah, not much gets those out. You have to really work at it.
It depends. Like I did wild grape and I tried using it as a dye and it was faded to beige by like 6 months later and it wasn't even in the sun.
Okay.
So, and turmeric, I can tell you from the turmeric incident, that fades out really fast too.
Yeah, she had a whole canister of turmeric go everywhere in the kitchen.
No, it was a 2-cup measure of turmeric tea that did somersault through my kitchen and got everything, including me and the floor.
No.
And the cabinets in the stove on the stove. It was epic.
It looked like there was an explosion. It was hilarious.
It pretty much was.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only place that there's any turmeric stain right now is on the cupboard that the gremlin pushed the bottle out of that bounced into the thing. Because I guess it's the only place that doesn't get any sun.
Yeah.
But yeah, even beets don't stain permanently. Learning a little bit about dye stuffs. Yeah, it's going to be bad for a while, but it will eventually fade out.
Eventually wears out. Yeah, it washes out eventually. It just takes time. But so now you guys are like, and I got to see this, and so did Kevin, are smack in the middle of downtown, which is kind of unusual for meaderies. Usually they're out in light industrial areas or on the edge of town or whatever, just because real estate is
right.
So. And here you are in the middle of not just a vibrant growing city, but it's a vibrant growing city with the largest university and, for a long ways around.
Yeah, it's a great location.
It is an awesome location. So how in the hell did you guys manage to come up with such a cherry location?
Well,
and how in the heck did you afford it? I mean, are you like independently wealthy?
That we're still trying to figure out. So we were trying to figure out if in this area, I feel like breweries can be outside of downtown, and there's enough draw that they'll bring in business. But we just weren't sure if there isn't another meadery in Ann Arbor. So we weren't sure if a meadery outside of downtown, when, like you said, a lot of our customers are grad students, PhD students, professors, a lot of them don't have cars. Would there be enough of a draw if we were outside of downtown where rent is reasonable? So we spent a long time looking at real estate and trying to figure out where we were going to be. And our architects happened to know that this building was about to be renovated. So It was built as a hotel in the 70s, and then in the 90s, it was converted to Section 8 senior housing.
Okay.
And about 10 years ago, they decided to renovate the first floor and turn it into commercial spaces. So we just happened to find out that they were doing that before they had started construction. So we were their kind of anchor tenant in that commercial space. So we got what doesn't necessarily feel like a great deal, but a pretty good deal for downtown commercial real estate.
So being willing to more or less work with the landlord before they were ready to do anything, give us the opportunity to do things like put the roll-up door in, or give us, it's not something you can see from the front, but like in the back side of the space, we have the ability to move pallets in and out of the back because the city was going to tolerate us moving pallets and whatnot off the street.
Yeah, coming in off the sidewalk might be a bit difficult.
It turns out they don't care.
Oh, okay.
At least so far in 7.5 years or 8 years, whatever it's been since we've been hauling pallets in and out, they haven't bothered us. But there's some things like that made it really useful. Also bringing in the electricity, like 3-phase and whatnot. The building was actually already pretty well set up for, but it took us about 2 years before we found that space. So we knew we wanted to be located where people were, in the sense that we wanted to be able to engage with the businesses around us. We didn't want to be a standalone business. Community is really important to us. But we also knew that downtown real estate is freaking expensive. And so when we wrote the lease with the landlord, we structured it as 4 or 5 year options. A 5-year lease with 3 5-year options after that, knowing that if downtown real estate was not going to work for us, that we only had to tough it out for 5 years instead of trying to look at, a long-term lease situation. Commercial leases suck that way. They're not quite like residential leases. And then as far as, you hinted at startup capital. When we moved back from Chicago, we sold our house in Chicago and we did well. And that was our seed money that ran us into the Meadery.
And I will say that, since then, I don't think that being a Meadery in downtown Ann Arbor is enough to sustain there. We've also had to lean heavily into our ciders and also really heavily into events. So, we basically have events every night of the week. So Tuesdays is Babies and Brews and a craft night. Wednesday is our board game night. Thursdays is trivia. Fridays we have comedy. Sundays is yoga. I mean, there's events almost every night of the week. Part of that is just to make sure that we're drawing enough people in to hope to be able to stay there.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I stopped in on Thursday when I was in for the Michigan Mead Cup, and your trivia, you had lots of people in there for trivia. I mean,
it does look good on Thursdays. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I think there was one table free, which we managed to get. So yeah, that looked great. You guys were packing them in. I like to see that.
Yeah, Thursdays do well for us. That trivia host, we started through a trivia company well before COVID, and he just happened to be the person who was assigned to us. And he is gold. He's just gold. And he also writes really challenging trivia, which I feel like the people in Ann Arbor are just gluttons for intellectual punishment. So he does really draw a crowd.
Okay. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yep. Yeah. He's really good.
He whips out the really obscure questions then.
It's so humbling. Oh my God. It's tough. He's tough. Yeah. Yeah, but it's been a good space. It's also, this is really a luxury if you can find a space and it works, but we also, wanted to try and be in a place where people weren't coming in, consuming alcohol and then driving away.
You're right.
Right.
So that's obviously that can't be the only deciding factor for a lot of establishments when trying to figure out where to go. But that was one of the things that we thought about when we were trying to decide on a space.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just finding a space like that. I mean, I've only known in all the meaderies that I have known over the years, 2, maybe 3 that were in prime positions like you guys are.
Yeah.
The vast majority are, well, at least from a city shopping perspective, are not in prime areas.
The rules are stacked against us for that here too. Beer breweries, yeah, sure, no problem. You can be on a bus route, no problem. But if you want to have a meadery or a winery, you end up out in the country.
God, why not? Well, that's because you guys have also got to grow some of your own stuff.
There's actually no regulation that says you have to use your own stuff. You just have to be able to grow it.
You just have to be able. I have to have 50 hives. I can sell all the honey, but
No word of a lie. The fruit meadery that I liked so much when I was on my honeymoon, they got fruit from all kinds of other places. They have to grow their own because otherwise they can't be licensed. But they get blueberries from northern Ontario, they get peaches from elsewhere, and they don't grow their own grapes.
That's funny.
Climates or for their grape wines. So there's nothing saying you have to use your own fruit. You just have to be able to grow some.
Was it written that way on purpose just to make sure that there was more agricultural diversity or that the land was...
I would assume that it was such that you didn't end up sucking up all of the resources in an area to feed your winery. And they dropped the regulations to be from needing 100 hives to 50 hives, and they've further gone to the point where you no longer have to be the registered beekeeper. You can just be in cahoots with one that bequeaths that much of their honey to you.
Okay.
But there's nothing saying that you can't if there are Ontario places that are making stuff with orange blossom honey, they are not growing that here.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
That is important. That is definitely important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing if you're doing anything with citrus like that. That is definitely imported. And then
Well,
you're going to be paying excise tax on it. But
it's kind of weird in the United States. The state that produces the most honey in the United States is North Dakota.
Oh.
But you have to stop and think about that for a minute. So yes, there's a lot of beekeepers in North Dakota, but they all overwinter their bees in California, Texas, and Florida.
Yeah.
And guess what happens when they bring them back? They harvest all the honey in North Dakota.
Yeah.
Is that where it originated? No. That's where it was processed, but it still counts. So they're the largest producer of honey in North America.
Yeah, I think North Dakotans like to winter down south.
Absolutely.
Can't say as I blame them.
It's one of those weird things, where you hear it and you're like, wait, that statistic makes no sense at all. Well, it all depends on how you slice the statistic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, damn lies and statistics, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
But that sort of brings up the topic of local ingredients. And I know we got some questions from
a couple of them, actually. Yeah.
Bradley, right?
Yeah.
And I have to scroll way back now to find them.
Yeah. They're down underneath Nathan's stuff.
Well, they were in the chat also, I think.
Yeah, we're trying to look in the Discord right now.
Yeah. So
I got it.
You got it? Okay.
Yep. So one of the questions there was, does working with cider, aperitivo, and other alcoholic beverages influence your palate when working with mead? And if so, how?
That's a great question. So I think that obviously it definitely has to, in the sense that, experience with your palate is always going to influence everything else you do with your palate. So I don't think that there's any avoiding that. But I think, we were talking about those fig leaves earlier. I think that's an ingredient where we're playing with it without really a big end in sight, and knowing that that's working towards wherever it's going to go. That could go to an aperitivo, that could go to a cider, that could go to a mead. I think, they definitely, I think honestly for me, one of the big things that I've found really fun, specifically with the ciders, is the acid in the ciders versus the acids in the meads, I think is probably the funnest spot to play between the two. So if we have a new ingredient, like we ended up with some persimmons recently, and I was trying to let just the fruit shine a little bit on its own. I wasn't trying to do anything else. And so I was just trying to get the persimmon into a base mead and let it back sweeten on its own, and not do any, not ferment it, not do anything, just leave it as fresh fruit forward as I could to let the flavor go. not show fermentation character on it. And I ended up putting the persimmon on our sizer instead of just a regular base because of that increased acidity from the malic acid really was highlighting the persimmon a lot better. We also did serviceberry the same way and tried to let people just taste what the fruit by itself kind of tastes like. So let the mead shine to the background. And that one, I put it against our standard, and because the serviceberries themselves shined better without that malic acid. And I think having that opportunity to work with those ciders is very useful for us, especially because we're so limited on ingredients. We feel like.
So I want to follow up on something. So you commented a few times about back sweetening. So that implies, and I know that you mostly make lower ABV meads, which implies that you are stabilizing or pasteurizing your meads in some fashion. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we use sulfite and potassium sorbate.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Another question from Bradley is, did owning and brewing at Beguile bring additional confidence when it came time to launch the meadery? And what potential pitfalls did that experience maybe help you foresee?
Wow.
Many.
Bradley,
That's a good question.
Bradley, you're going to the deep, buddy.
Well, we got people who get into it, and I love it.
That's awesome. Yes, my experience at Beguile humbled me to the world of commercial alcohol making. And so when we opened Beguile, it was two business partners and I, and we came together with an understanding that none of us knew what we were doing, but we all had a common goal. So I was an avid home brewer at the time, brewing mainly beer. I'd done a couple meads at that point. And I don't think I'd done any cider at that point when we opened Beguile. But knowing that we came in with a lack of understanding of what we were doing and having that common goal meant that I learned a lot on the job, and I was really fortunate to have a mentor of sorts along the way. There was another brewery that opened around the same time as us with their licensing, or was trying to open it around the same time as us, but their licensing got delayed. And they had hired a brewer out of Pittsburgh, and he became kind of my unofficial mentor. He would never admit to it, really, but when I had questions, he would give me the full answer, and I'm so grateful for that because I stubbed my toes hard, but I would have broken something, for lack of a better term, had it not been. And yes, so that transition from going from home brewing to commercial brewing beer was kind of the same process that we were able to then apply to going back to home brewing roots, trying to figure out if I felt like I could make session style meads when we were thinking about opening this, and or what we like to call session style, excuse me, and using that process and then scaling that process into production was something that when I was trying to take some of my homebrew beer recipes and apply them to commercial, like to a commercial scale, it really wasn't working. Like at the beginning in Beguile, I had a handful of recipes that I really was confident in that I wanted to transition to help us open the doors with. And my blonde ale that I was making at the time was my favorite beer. That was what I would make probably every third or fourth brew was my blonde ale. I was very confident in it, really enjoyed it. It was one that I didn't feel like I could buy good blondes at that time in Chicago. And it was the hardest one to recreate in the commercial environment. Like my other beers that I was making, pales and reds and things like that, they transitioned a lot easier, but the blonde, for whatever reason, took me a long time to transition. It was, I'd say, probably almost 2 years before I felt like that one finally settled back into where it should have been as compared to the homebrew. So kind of learning that process of transitioning, I used that experience when I was trying to figure out how I wanted to homebrew these products, and then how I would want to, as being session meads, and how I would want to then scale that into a commercial environment. So yeah, that was a huge impact.
I also feel like so at Beguile, they started with some really small equipment and then outgrew it and needed to kind of do like a bigger install, brew system and whatnot. And to do that, they had to shut down for a while and shut down production so that they could renovate the cellar in that space. And it didn't take long for them to outgrow it. And that was a real kind of pain point to have to shut production down for a while. So I think that was a good lesson for us, is to kind of anticipate what, even though you can't know what 3, 5, 10-year growth is going to look like, we had a little better idea of maybe what like it would look like at 18 months, or, you know, maybe at 3 years. And so kind of maximizing our equipment loans out the gate so that we could put in enough equipment that we could, you know, roll through that initial growth phase and continue producing and generating some revenue during that time as we were growing.
Yeah. So Lauren hinted that we rebuilt the brewery 3 times in 4 years while I was there.
Oh, wow.
And I love all things mechanical. Like for fun, I take things apart and hopefully put them back together if they need it. But when we went to open the meadery, I worked with tank designers based on my experience with different, I don't know, I think I bought 7 different manufacturers when I was in Chicago for the brewery, something like that, 6 or 7 different manufacturers, and kind of learned what I liked about the different designs and whatnot, and took that knowledge and applied it to a vendor that I had actually never worked with, but I liked their designs fit a lot of the pieces that I liked from other tanks. And in doing that, we moved the glycol jackets down. We started with the base of a bright beer tank, and we added racking arms and dry hop ports. And then we moved all the fittings down as low as we could. So it makes the glycol a little less efficient by changing that geometry of where it sits in the tank. But it meant that we were able to get temperature control with relative consistency on smaller volumes in the tank. So we can basically use one of our tanks at like 25%, all the way up to 100% capacity, and really it functions anywhere in between. And that was a very intentional thing, so that, as Lauren was saying, we could, if we needed to, or in hopes to, grow and make more product and not need to build the cellar and tear things apart and whatnot. So one of the other things that Brad's question, excuse me, I didn't see the name, but they were asked about experiences at Beguile, and one of my business partners in Chicago was a very friendly guy, and he kind of represented the sales side of our business, but he befriended a lot of chefs. And so we got to do a lot of chef collaborations pretty early on, like starting in our second year at Beguile, and getting that opportunity to see a little bit behind the curtain, because I have never worked in a commercial kitchen before. Kind of behind the scenes a little bit with chefs, and chefs that have a lot of experience with a lot of flavors was a really cool thing for me. Like I remember I was working with a guy by the name of Kevin Hickey, and he wanted to do a root vegetable beer. So we spent 2 weeks trying to come up with a plan for getting the root vegetables into the mash, or whether we'd boil them, or how we were going to process them down to try and get the starches released and convert them into sugars and everything. And it wasn't my favorite beer, but experiences like that where you're playing with fun ingredients or doing funky things to just for fun with an outlet for it is cool. And I'm grateful for that. It definitely got me thinking outside the box, and just knowing that, you've got the opportunity to put things out there, even if they're not necessarily what people are expecting, was a good reminder that we don't have to just, especially at that time, we didn't feel like we had to just do pale ales or IPAs or whatever. So.
Yeah.
It is also humbling, to Brad's first question. This isn't necessarily how aperitivo or cider inform our mead palate, but I do think that having a public tap room is humbling in the fact that you remember that you shouldn't only produce things that you like. Like some of the things that sell really well for us are not my favorite things that we make, and they're good. I am confident in the quality. I'm proud to put them out, but they're just not my favorite flavor profiles. And it's a good thing that, we're not just following our own palates.
Yeah, you definitely want to be able to make stuff that people want, and what you like may or may not be that. Are you seeing, I know a lot of the stuff you guys make is on the drier side, right?
Yeah.
Was that a conscious choice, or was that driven by customer demand?
It was a conscious choice. So I actually have quite a bit of a sweet tooth. I really
No.
yeah, I really have a sweet tooth. And but what we realized was that we really wanted a product that we felt like people could hang out and drink in the longer term. So like, as much as I love, I enjoy meads and big bodied stuff, I can really only have a little bit of it before my palate's pretty shot, or I'm catching too much of a buzz to really do more than I want to do for the day. And we knew that early on. So our goal right now when we make our meads is the way we vocalize it is something you can hang out and drink at a barbecue. So you don't know what the weather's going to be, you don't know what the food's going to be, but like something you can eat over, you can hang out all day drinking it if you want to, and still be functioning at the barbecue. So that's roughly where it comes from, and that's part of why we call it session mead, because we do know that it leans to the dry side. So beyond alcohol content, we're getting in a little bit more to like where it finishes on the palate, and not being something that is for better or worse, a palate wrecker. Like, there are some wonderful palate wreckers out there that I've had in my life, but just that. And it's, we're trying to put our products in a category where it's not that. And that's one of the reasons I shied away a bit from the term draft, was just because I have had some draft meads that it's still hard to taste other things beyond what I'm drinking in the draft category. So we tried to steal that word session from the craft beer world in hopes that people would be familiar with it, but also to help highlight that we're talking about more than just the alcohol content, really to how it finishes and how it works around other things.
I will also say, in terms of community, I mean, when the landscape has changed, but when we opened it 8 years ago, or we're planning it 10 years ago, there were even more meaderies around this area than there are now.
Yeah, that's true. A few have closed.
And so in terms of community, sometimes people would come in and they'd say, okay, I get what you're doing here, but I want something strong and saturated, and I want something that really that does saturate my palate. And we would say, that is awesome. And there are some incredible people making that not far away. Like, you should go to the people who do that incredibly well, and it was that's also kind of a nice way to like support others in the mead community of like, they have an niche, they do it incredibly well. You'd go support them for that. And then the next time you're looking for a 4-pack to hang around and drink by the campfire, come back to us, or whatever it is.
I call them beach meads.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can
that's a
4-pack out to the beach, drink it all day, and still be fine.
Yeah. I love that. It's a beach mead.
I might steal that term. Thank you.
Yeah, feel free. Feel free.
Yep.
I seem to have a thing for coining phrases, so
we'll give you credit for it.
Yep.
Yeah, no worries. Send me some mead. or or caught me a glass next time I come down or something.
You got it.
Yeah, depending on what things look like. I got Tracy Kufas is coming up to visit me. We're going to go to Valkyrie's Horn.
Oh, cool.
But she's going to stick around for a few days, either before and after, depending on how the days work out. But she's coming for a week. We'll be only at the comp for a couple of days because she's not done winter. She wants to experience winter. I'm like, well, February in Michigan or March in Michigan could be a real good time for that.
That is an experience. Yep.
But I'm just thinking that maybe. Yeah, right. Or maybe not. Yeah, last year by that time, most of the snow was
gone. Yeah, it was all gone.
I know. She was so bummed that she came up to Valkyrie's Horn. Y'all had no snow. I mean, it was like, really?
Yeah, we were like planning to go out and do some curling because there's a curling rink right there. Nope,
we even talked about like going ice fishing or
nope.
It was like, that didn't work.
The lakes were closed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tracy,
never know. With all the sunspot activity this year, who knows? Maybe it'll be cold. I mean, it's bitching cold right now.
It is
cold here now too.
It's not that cold here, but we get some amelioration from the proximity of the lake. But Tracy's funny. She says I'm a freeze, but but what I planned on doing though is taking the two of us take a run down there because it's only like 2.5, 3 hours to you guys.
Yeah.
and just hang out, do an overnight hangout, and come down and check out, take her to see you guys, and over to see Brad and them, and to check out Ken's place. And there's somebody else down there that I wanted to go see. Can't remember. There's like 4 meaderies right in the general vicinity. Oh, I know. What's her name over in Ypsilanti?
Maniacal.
Yeah, Maniacal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, give us a shout.
Jeff's awesome.
Yeah, Jeff is awesome. Yeah, I had a glass of mead when I was over there, but Jeff wasn't around, so I didn't get to chat with him. But yeah.
Those mead makers having lives.
Yeah, I know, right? How could you? I mean, hello.
How dare.
Yeah. Well, that's why when I do go to visit a meadery, especially if I'm planning on visiting it in my official capacity, as it were, I always try to let them know ahead of time, because I don't like to get in the way either. That's why I only chatted with you for a minute when I was there, because you were busy. You were really busy. I was like, no, she does not need me in the way. So
that was a good group. That was fun.
Yeah, it was. I got there late with the beekeeping crowd and ended up taking off not long after that. But that was only because I hadn't had any dinner.
Oh, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, I don't want to be drinking on an empty stomach, and especially in homecoming weekend. And
yes.
I had a conversation with the lady that runs the beekeeping conference. I'm like, that was probably not the best weekend you could have chosen. She's like, I know. I don't know what we were thinking. I said, yeah, next year, find out when homecoming is and don't do it then.
Just when you think you've considered everything, you realize you missed the biggest thing. It'll be like, we'll plan something and we're like, okay, I think we've checked all the boxes. And then it's like the U of M Ohio State game.
You're right. Yeah.
What were we doing?
Yeah, right. And it's like everybody and their brother, who's ever in 100 years gone to U of M, is now in Ann Arbor.
Yep. Drinking on a golf course.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, I mean, I liked what I think I had the pear ginger. That's a cider, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, that's a fun one. So Michigan ginger is interesting. It's all kind of like the equivalent of what you would think of as baby ginger grown here. So when it comes out of the ground, the whole root and the stalk are really soft. They don't have that, for anybody who's not getting local ginger, it doesn't have the like brown papery skin on it that you normally see on ginger at the grocery store, because it hasn't been cured. So it just comes right out of the field, and it's really soft. The body of it's just kind of like a cream color. And then the shoots that come up are purple and green, and it's beautiful. And we can use all of that. And it has a pretty light flavor to it. So it's gingery in flavor, but it doesn't have a ton of heat. So that pear ginger, you get kind of the ginger flavor without that.
Yeah, without the
burn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm a ginger ale nut, so I like the spicy, super spicy ginger. Yeah, but with the pear though, it would that type of ginger presence would probably be overwhelming, because pear's really delicate. So, yeah.
Sometimes
I think you did
onto the pulp after we press it, and then sometimes we'll boil that just to get, and then we'll use it in something else. That's got
there
some
you go.
flavor. Yeah,
that works. Well, I liked what I had. I'm looking forward to trying more. But if I get Tracy down there and we find a place to crash over for the night, and
let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, she and I haven't worked out dates yet, but I know it's going to be somewhere around the 3rd week in March. So
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one actually, the pears are up from King Orchard, and the ginger we get from a handful of different farms, but a good chunk of it is from Lakeview Hill Farm, which is up on the Leelanau.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a lot up there.
There is.
I've been back home. I've been living back home for a couple years now, and I still haven't done the wine trail. Last time I lived up here was 1989. So
avoid the bachelorette season.
Yeah. So we won't be doing that in June. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's so many to explore. It's fun.
Yeah,
there's some really good stuff.
Yeah, there really is. There's a lot of really good stuff there. I'd say it's nice being in this state when so much gets made here, because we have so many really awesome things. So, and that kind of leads us into another one of, did we do the last question for Bradley yet?
Not
Kevin?
yet. No, go for it.
Okay. So he's saying, so if you're adventuring beyond your Michigan roots, what other ingredients, fruit or otherwise, would you love to play with?
Oh.
I love cinnamon. I love, specifically, there was a Saigon cinnamon stick that we used to buy in Chicago that are huge. Like they were like a foot and a half long.
Oh yeah.
It was so rich and intense in them that I like. It's what I used to use it for my Christmas beer, the brewery. But stuff is awesome. I love that stuff, and I wish I was still producing with it. And I love citrus. I do wish that citrus grew more readily in Michigan. You know, I played with lemon verbena and I played with lemon balm, but they really don't capture the same elements to me that I really enjoy out of citrus. And citrus is probably the ingredient that I miss the most.
Mhm.
Within citrus, I really love, for lots of reasons, I love working with grapefruit. And I always wish that we could work with that. I also often wish that we could use shiso or yuzu. There are a couple kind of like interesting hybrid flavors that I think would really, really fun to play with. And then we've also we've like daydreamed about some recipes that would be fun using some different teas, but the only real tea leaf grower in Michigan that we know of is Light of Day Organics, which is a little bit west of Traverse City. And they have some Hoop House black and green tea leaves, which is kind of, but given how small their production is, it's a little cost prohibitive for us to use in our methods.
She is also, when we asked her about using it in our meads, she asked us not to. She said it was okay for cider for her personal preferences, but
because it was not vegan. So we chose
right. If she's vegan.
Yeah, so we were just talking. We were talking to her about what we make, and she thought it was really cool. But she asked us, you know, if we were going to use her products, she obviously wasn't going to force us. She couldn't, like, if we were buying it, she couldn't tell us what to do with it. But you know, it was a polite ask from her part to say, like, hey, maybe if you're going to use my stuff, please use it in the ciders instead of the meads.
Okay, I see. Because the mead's got honey and it's not vegan because of that.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw the comment from Austin on Discord. Yes, we have also found some like very, you know, people who like grow shiso in their garden, but we haven't found enough to work with yet. But maybe that's another thing for us to kind of put out the feelers on again.
Yeah. It's got to be somebody.
There's got to be somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, seems like people grow everything up here. Unfortunately, I don't think cinnamon's ever going to happen up here, even with a hoop house.
That's a tough one.
That's a shame, yeah, because I mean, I could see like a cherry cinnamon cider, or you know, because cherry and cinnamon are like, you know, peanut butter and jelly. They go together so well.
Yeah. Really, all the spices. I mean, having access to a lot of those spices would be nice. Black pepper,
black pepper,
any of those.
Vanilla, you know, just the basics.
That's a good question. 20 pounds of shiso is that's a lot. Wow, cool. Great.
Look at Austin, it sounds like you need to get up with Lauren and see.
Austin, send me an email at hello@bløm.com. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Great. That'd be fun.
See, there you go. Put your feelers out and look what happens.
Yeah, we're doing it right now.
Yeah. Networking live.
Yeah.
So as long as we're on the subject of tea, and this is sort of tangential, but popping up to our Nathan questions, who, if you listen to the show at all, you know Nathan comes up with the dangest questions. God only knows where he gets this stuff. He says, well, your friends
must pay attention also.
Yeah, you have to listen or you won't.
They're usually multi-part, usually 3 parts, sometimes more.
Like I say, we're just grateful that he doesn't do it in Latin. So
right.
Because my Latin pronunciation is horrendous. So just saying. Okay, so he says, with your friends at Tejas, there's the tea thing, providing select spices for a seasonal glühwein, have you likely considered an inspired mead version of this traditional for the holidays outside of your own Treasures cranberry and ginger Christmas mead?
We haven't. So let me answer this, and then they can tell me if I'm answering this, if I've understood the question correctly. But so beyond just buying it from a local vendor, we try to use ingredients that are grown here in Michigan, and I think most traditional glühwein spices would be spices that just don't grow here. I'm thinking primarily like clove, cinnamon, anise, egg.
I had a feeling, but figured it couldn't hurt to ask.
Yeah. So the one exception that we've made to that rule for ourselves of using all Michigan grown.
Whoops.
Did we lose him? No,
We
Lauren, we lost the audio. I see you guys still on here, but your audio isn't going through. All right, let me text him. I don't know if we lost him or not.
Maybe somebody will put a mute button.
Yeah. I just typed over to their thing. But yeah. Okay. So now I want to know, like, what's the one thing they made the exception for? Cut her off right in the middle of a sentence. Oh, we lost him. Okay, so let's get him back in. Yeah, we're sorry, guys. I'm trying to type and to them and talk at the same time, and it's not working.
One output, one input. That's it. That's all you get.
That's all I got. Yeah. I used to have more, but as the years progress, my multitasking kind of gets a little weaker. I don't know where they went. So, you gonna make any tomato meads, AJ? Well, we're working on getting these guys back.
No, that's,
you got enough tomatoes.
Tomato?
No,
I've made a tomato mead.
I don't think I want to.
Why?
You know what?
Sure
I
like
was skeptical. I was skeptical, but I mean, Birmingham was kind of a inspiration for that.
Yeah.
And
Fair.
I will say that I was very surprised to find that it does not taste at all like tomatoes.
Well, I mean, ketchup doesn't either.
It tastes like lemons.
Yeah.
Very surprising to me.
Is that fully ripened or is that green?
No, green tomatoes.
Okay, yeah, because you can make a green tomato pie and it tastes like an apple pie.
Yeah,
I suppose.
I quite enjoy green tomatoes, actually. I'm not that hot on, the red ones unless they're processed into something.
Yeah, just one of those
I
weird
tomatoes
things.
And I don't actually like tomatoes very much. Salsa and tomato sauce, that's what I have tomatoes for.
Yes, when they're ripe, I agree.
Yep. But fried green tomatoes, I actually quite enjoy that. And I can see how making a green tomato pie or something like that, it'd be like the Ritz cracker pie. It would take on whatever flavor you gave it.
Right. And of course, that's generally the case with a lot of things, right? I mean, like onions.
I would imagine zucchini would do it too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
I think onion, I would probably be able to taste that. Because I've made French onion soup, and that's just onion, and that's very definitely onion. But zucchini, I could totally see that, being a fake apple pie or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I've done a lot with green tomatoes. I haven't tried fermenting them yet. Well, I take that back. I made green tomato pickles, but I haven't made.
Yeah, I did green tomatoes. They were okay, but I don't like the pickling spice I used. It was what my bulk food store sells as pickling spice, and the recipe called for pickling spice, so I used it. I don't like it very much. There's something in it I'm not a fan of.
Oh, okay.
I would rather just do garlic dills, honestly, even though dill is my least favorite spice aside from caraway. There are two places that dill belongs, and that's in pickles and a little sprig on cabbage rolls. And caraway belongs in pumpernickel bread, and anywhere else is gross.
Okay.
But that's just me.
Well, I'm starting to think we maybe lost them permanent.
Yeah, I can't get a hold of them. I don't have their phone.
And we're up on the 2-hour mark anyhow. So maybe
We are? No, we're not.
No,
aren't we?
We're hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
You've been working too hard, Kevin.
Oh, this is very true.
Yeah. So that'll be, well, shoot, that's a bummer. I wanted to get them for the rest of the show. We haven't even hardly gotten to the Matt questions.
I know.
And they're not, I don't know what happened. I hope everything's okay because I'm not hearing back from them on any of the channels that I have them on.
I wonder if they had a power failure or something.
Possibly. I mean, it's not storming down there right now. At least I don't think it is.
Grr.
Yeah, no shit. Well, all right, so let's give them a little bit more time. Kevin, what are you working on right now?
Oh, mead-wise? Oh, my
Mhm.
gosh.
Stuff that you can tell us about that's not going to be a mystery mead.
Well, unfortunately, that's kind of where I am right now, actually. I'm getting ready for 2026 competition season. I have not done a lot of competing lately, so this is going to be kind of a big year for me. And I got a lot of stuff underway. My biggest problem here is actually getting any of these dang things finished, you know? I don't know how many I have underway. Probably 20. And only like maybe 3 or 4 of them are actually finished.
There they are.
So.
Okay. Whew. Yeah,
But
I
I'm
don't know
making
what
bigger-
happened to you
bigger
guys.
meats, so.
We've been just filling time going, maybe they'll hear us. And I've been like, I realized I didn't have a phone number for you guys. So I was like, I'm like texting you on Facebook and on Discord and going, hello.
It wasn't you. We lost internet to the whole house. So
I thought it might be something like that. So
Yep.
yeah. So you were in the middle of telling us about the glue wine and the one ingredient that you broke your promise to yourselves for.
wow, what a cliffhanger.
Yeah, right? I mean, like right in the middle of the sentence, like, what was it?
We had a nice long talk without you guys.
Yeah, we went
right?
on for a
You didn't
while.
even know
actually.
it down.
So the exception that we have made in the past has been we've worked with a local distillery, Ann Arbor Distilling, and occasionally they'll have a batch of botanicals that have just kind of been steamed in the carter head during distillation.
Oh.
And they will bring those over for us because there's still quite a bit of flavor and certainly a lot of aroma left in those. And for them, they're just trashed or, compost if they, have a big enough receptacle. But because it's just going to the trash, we've played with those. And so we've tried annually to make a batch of absinthe botanical cider. And then we've made gin botanical meads, which have been really interesting, but their production schedule has shifted quite a bit. It's a little less dependable just in terms of us getting the botanicals. So now we make a fresh gin botanical mead with lavender and fresh juniper berries.
Fresh as in not having been gone through the distill.
Right.
It's still dried lavender, and I guess juniper is kind of dried on the tree, but
Depends on when you pick it, I guess.
Yeah.
they're winter picking. So
Okay. Yeah, then it would be dried up instead of the fresh spring ones. I don't know. I really like that. That's one of the things. Have you guys tried anything with some of the botanicals that you can get here in Michigan, like fir tips or I mean, God knows we got enough pine trees around this place.
yeah, I play with sumac a little bit.
How'd that come out?
It's gone more to ciders than it has to meads, but I definitely like sumac. I struggle with how dirty it is when I forage it. It's one of those things where honestly, I should be putting it in something with more alcohol. I feel like just to help have a little more stability there. And I've tried washing it, and it's such a fragile, delicate flavor that comes out. Like I feel like I lose so much just by trying to rinse it. So yeah, I really like playing with I really like sumac, but We played with the American Spice Bush early on, which grows here in Michigan, and didn't really have much. For whatever reason, we just didn't really care for the flavor, so we never played with it anymore after that.
Yeah, that sounds like it'd be kind of a love it or hate it sort of thing.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of what other. I mean, there's so many other things that we play with, and it's just hard for me to keep track. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not so much on like the tips side of the game. What else we?
I don't know if I'd call those botanicals. We played a lot with lemon balm, lemon verbena.
Yeah. The lemon balm so easy. You plant one, and then the next year you'll have 4,682 of them. You know.
That's what's growing under all our beehives.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's probably what I'm going to do is plant a bunch of lemon balm around them because they like lemon. So.
Thyme we've played with.
Tarragon.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of like garden herbs, I'd say.
Sage. I like sage a lot.
Yeah.
Made a sage mead years ago. I need to try it again and see if it's calmed down.
We used we did several batches with fennel fronds just to use up the fronds that a farmer wasn't using.
Okay.
They would just whack them all off, obviously, before they dole out their fennel to their CSA. So we just got huge bags of fronds and threw those in.
Okay.
Tennessee character.
So do they taste like fennel or not?
It's the anise side of fennel, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It's also got a pretty heavy vegetal note. So the way I found to work with it that I liked the best was basically a short infusion. So like thinking like a dry hop, but keeping it to like 12 hours and just going with a lot of it. Try and keep the vegetal side to a minimal because these were green.
Yeah, I could see that.
That was a fun one to play with.
Yeah. The other thing that I've done to try and keep the vegetal side at bay is just doing it cold. So I'll do it in my walk-in cooler instead of at cellar temps or anything like that. That's more for like single keg, small batch stuff, but that'll help keep the vegetal a little bit at bay by keeping it cold.
Okay. I got a whole bunch of Nathan questions here for you guys.
Bring it on.
Hopefully your internet won't take a dump again.
That's how you know we like the question.
Yeah, I didn't say we brought the first Nathan question out and I was like, and you're gone. It's like, oh gosh, we've never had that reaction to Nathan question before.
Yeah, okay. But now people are anticipating them now.
I know, right? He's been pretty darned reliable, that's for sure. Especially if I let him know ahead of time who's going to be on, then he starts really coming up with questions.
I love that. The worst would be when we would have a tour, like early on in our first few years, we did monthly tours, and occasionally we'd get a group of people with no questions, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, what do you do? Yeah, how do you fill the time?
Oh my god, just talking to yourself for an hour. It's miserable.
Pretty much, yeah. Jeez. Well, swinging back around.
We could do it though.
Yeah.
That's when I start explaining lab equipment.
Make them pay for it.
Well, if you look over here, you can see how the jacketing on this tank goes.
Yeah, right.
Notice the angle of the dimpling is.
The angle of the dimpling. Get your feet some
and
lift.
once we hook up the whatchamacallit to the thingamajig, those are technical terms now. So if you don't understand it, okay. Oh, geez. Yeah, swinging back around to the rhubarb, which was all the way back at the beginning, being the first session experiment that has sustained a progression to 7 years later. How has your juicing process developed from your beginnings to making a quality tradition and consistency, tartness, crispness, and dryness?
So multiple tier Nathan question. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
The internet's going. No, I'm just kidding.
Sunspots.
So I will say the rhubarb has definitely changed a little bit in my taste memory over the years, but I think the main piece of that for me is monitoring how much I'm adding. So in the case of the rhubarb, I'm adding it twice, once during fermentation and then once post-fermentation. So I can use that post-fermentation addition to help balance it out, to make sure I'm not overshooting on the acidity or anything like that. Or if I'm coming in under, then again, if I have access to more rhubarb still, I can keep pushing on it, or pull a little off the tank before I add the rhubarb in, which is less likely because usually I don't know that I'm under until I've added it. And then, but rhubarb has been moderately consistent with the exception of the year that it was a later harvest and that oxalate really kind of messed with it a bit. I'd say the oxalate gave it a muddier character, almost like sulfur will, but I don't think it was sulfur. But then the other fruits, as far as pressings over the years, have changed. I've upped my enzyme game a lot. Between some things getting frozen and some stuff, pressing fresh, like rhubarb being frozen, I don't hit any enzyme. Like black currants are the ones I keep going back to. Like I've been setting my rest. I started doing enzymes on my black currants like 4 years ago, and then every year my rest has gotten longer and longer and longer to the point that like I think I'm ready to actually just go for like a full 24 hours on it with the enzyme rest, and then press it just because it's such a pain. Black currants are such a pain in the ass. The other thing that I've changed is I've played with different milling type stuff. So like I was talking about peaches being a disaster for me. They're kind of a nemesis in the sense that they like to really make a mess of things in my space. Part of that is because I got so frustrated with pressing it that I started running it through my apple mill and making peach goo. Like really, it looked like baby food. Cookie side of baby food that looks like apple pomace, like the stringy, gooey natto side of it. And that's part of why my cellar has been covered more than once in peach. But but enzymes are probably the biggest spot where I've seen the most improvement in pressing and not just getting more juice or sugar out of it, but also getting more flavor out of it. I didn't run any enzymes on my blueberries for the longest time, and just because I felt like I was getting a really good extraction, and one day I was kind of bored and I decided to hit it with enzyme and noticed I was getting a lot more tannin out of those blueberries.
We have different hobbies when we're bored.
So yeah, I'm a fan of Scott Labs enzymes. So PEC5L is a go-to. HC also a go-to. I'm blanking on the third one that I play with sometimes. They're the 2-letter acronyms. My brain doesn't really keep those very well in my head. So it's another one of the 2-letter acronyms. But all their enzymes are awesome. Super easy to work with, very consistent. And yeah, I worked with powdered enzyme, like pectic enzyme and stuff, powdered when I was first playing with cider in Chicago. Before we even moved back to Ann Arbor, and I was really surprised as to how inconsistent my experience was with it. I don't know how much of that was just because I was new to cider or what, but I've not had that experience with the Scott enzymes. So
I will also say on the very different and just really big picture scale, I think part of it has been recognizing where our bandwidth limitations are. So part of what's allowed us to make the rhubarb consistently over the years and be able to continue to work with the same farmer. So we're getting the crop, same varietal, same weather conditions, same soil.
By the way, I did try to look that up. I couldn't find the conversation where I talked about which variety it was.
I mean, I think the reason we've been able to do that is because we were willing to be honest with ourselves and say, we don't have time to cut up 1,200 pounds of rhubarb every spring. If we do that, we have to sacrifice a lot of other things in the commercial space. And so we needed to find a partner who could chop it and freeze it for us and just know, normally we have our hands full on every ingredient, and just saying, this is a situation where we need the farmer to get it to the chopper, and then we can put it in our freezer and just, knowing where we don't have capacity it's the two of us as owners, and then we have 10 part-time employees who work behind the bar, but everything front of house and back of house except for bartenders is us, and we can't do everything.
What? Oh, come on, man.
Try real hard.
Supposed to be able to do it all.
Yeah, that's what we keep telling ourselves.
And this is how you get burnout.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
So here's another Kyle question, a Nathan question. Sorry, Kyle's on the chat. So back when our national pandemic created some obstacles to commerce on site at the Meadery, you engaged in Mead Madness home games to inspire community to vote for fan favorites. Pear ginger cider versus apple cider was one of the fun matchups. Yeah. With the popularity of pear ginger cider, have you thought about a one-step further approach with honey to creating a pear ginger cider?
Ooh.
No.
Yes.
I appreciate
Nathan, I think you started something.
I like it.
Well, no, what I was going to talk about is just so we buy all of our ginger in season, and we kind of map out where our ginger is going to go throughout the year. And one of the places that I use ginger right now in the meads is in our Christmas mead. So we created the Christmas mead with cranberry and fresh ginger, much like the way the ginger is done in the pear ginger cider. And I think because of that, I don't know how to word this, play the same tricks. But like, we only have so many ingredients, so I don't want to
use them to.
You want to keep doing the same thing over and over with only 9 ingredients.
Yeah, and I really want to leave Christmas as special, so I've avoided using ginger because I want to leave Christmas mead as being special. And that doesn't mean that there aren't great things that I think could come out. I think what you just described sounds really fun. And maybe now that we're a little deeper along, and maybe that we've got more experience under our belts, maybe that is a time to start playing more and revisiting some of those original ingredients that I set aside that I don't play with as much anymore, just because I want to leave them to where they're being used.
Yeah. Or maybe it's like a summer release. Maybe it's the opposite season where you do a small batch, a one-off keg of your cider.
Make it a special and do it seasonal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some kind of recurring seasonals that we've had to cut over the years. If we just couldn't, consistently get that product, that ingredient every year, and then some we've added in, and but the small batch, the like one-off kegs are always fun because they go quickly. We can really experiment. If it fails, it fails. If it goes fast, that's great. Yeah, that could be fun to play with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ideas.
Wow, back in the days of the Mead Madness, yeah, that feels like a lifetime ago. And
I know. It does seem like another life, doesn't it? Yeah. That's weird. When we're old and gray, it'll be like, do you remember the? Oh yeah, I remember the pandemic. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We had to drink our mead at home. It was terrible.
It was so weird. Yeah.
We couldn't buy mead. We had to make
our own. It was just so hard.
Oh my gosh. We were so like desperate for any business. I remember there was this local tech company who was just so thoughtful. They like anytime they're doing anything for their employees, they support a local business. It's so cool. But there was so little that they could do. And so for their holiday party, they had us create a gift basket for each of their employees with like 4 different meads and ciders and a tasting glass and some cheeses to go with it. And
wow.
I was like, literally anything you want, I will make it. I will deliver it. And they were like, oh my gosh, could you deliver it to all of our employees? And I was like, yes, of course I can. Until it was like 25 people across Washtenaw County during a snowstorm. And it ended up taking me like 11 hours to deliver all of these. I was like, why did I say yes to this?
They'll be glad you weren't in the South, because when it snows down there, it'd take you like 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You
At
know?
least get our
I mean,
snow
because they
totals.
just lock everything down. It's just it's hilarious.
They'll drive diesel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even have to get the snow. Just the possibility of the consideration of it might
Just
be
the thought of
maybe
it.
going to snow in the next year or so is enough to shut everything down. You know, it cracks me up. I mean, granted, there's no equipment to deal with it there, so it's understandable, but it just cracks me up nonetheless. And I never, ever, 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 ever would go out, because everybody out there does not believe in physics. And and I can't seem to make them understand that's okay. Physics believes in you.
Yeah.
And that 4-wheel drive is not going to save you.
It sure won't. Nope.
So yeah, that's because nobody knows how to drive in that stuff either. So it's kind of nice actually coming back up here where people at least have a clue most of the time.
Yeah.
At least about snow driving.
Yeah, at least that.
Yeah, not necessarily about everything else, but snow driving. Yeah, we
Yeah.
got that one down. Yeah. But,
First snow of the year, though, everybody's still stupid. Nobody's got their snow tires on.
Yeah. That's what we got our first real snow over this weekend. So I don't know. What'd you guys end up with down there, Lauren?
Maybe like 5 inches.
Yeah, we ended up with about 8 here. Apparently Grand Rapids got dumped on. All my friends in Grand Rapids are going, shoot, we got a lot more than that when I posted a picture.
I'm jealous. If it's going to be cold, it might as well be snowy.
Might as well be snowy. Yeah, I've got a pair of snowshoes I bought just in time for it to stop snowing last year. Literally got them, and it never snowed again after
that. Was your fault, huh?
That was my fault. Yeah, so it was like, oh, darn it. So they're sitting there waiting, and I mean, actually, we've got close to a foot out in the field out back. Kind of piled up, so I might put them on and give it a shot. It's been a long time since I've done that.
Yeah, get out there.
Yeah. Got to find my gaiters so I don't get my pants all wet. They're around somewhere. But so, okay. Okay. So another Nathan question. How does working with local businesses for ingredient selection, such as by the pound, provide you with a better sense of imparting spices into your mead journey? Where he gets this stuff.
So this is kind of a little similar answer to the Glühwein that, also, big shout out for By the Pound, because personally, that's where we do a lot of our shopping. But for spices, most of their spices aren't grown in Michigan, so we don't get a lot of our mead and cider ingredients. We don't get any from By the Pound. For our cocktails that we make, or for making syrups or things like that for the tap room, we usually do get all of those ingredients By the Pound. But for a lot of our ingredients for our meads and ciders, we're either on a very small scale, we're foraging. On kind of a medium scale, which is most common, we're working directly, and large scale, we're working directly with the farmers. So, it might be like black currants. We call that farm at the beginning of their season, confirm with them that they can kind of store them frozen throughout the picking season as they have extra, and then we run up there and get them from them. Be an example. And then there are a couple things where we haven't been able to source from a single farm. So we'll work with a local food wholesaler like Eastern Market, which is the big farmers market in Detroit. They have a wholesale side to their market. Or we'll work with something like Argus Farm Stop, which is a local food grocer here in Ann Arbor, and they also have a wholesale component to their business. So we'll work through them to maybe find enough supply that things like strawberries, for example, have been a little bit tricky for us.
Raspberries are one of the hard ones here in Michigan, where there's only, I think, from what I understand, there's only one commercial harvester for large batch raspberries.
Yeah.
That was one of the ones I did through Eastern Market, where I shouldn't say I never got them. I might have eventually gotten the name of the farm out of them, but I wanted to confirm that it was a Michigan-based farm before we bought them. And they understood our values and what we were after there. And so they, Eastern Market basically facilitated that transaction for us by connecting us with the farm. Also,
nice.
Farm to Freezer, which is the company I mentioned before for processing our rhubarb. I've bought peaches through them as well. And strawberries as well, but again, they know that we only want to work with Michigan farms. So even though Farm to Freezer will work with like farms in northern Indiana, for example, they know that if they're trying to work with that farm, that it's not a product that we're going to be interested in. So I think it was 3 years ago now, they had a farmer who ended up harvesting a bunch of strawberries that came in just under the sugar content that they wanted. Sugar content was good. The strawberries looked a little bit white, even though the sugar content was good. That's where the confusion came in. So they had like 800 pounds of strawberries that they wanted to move, but they weren't going to move them through traditional, food vendors because the aesthetic aspect of the strawberries. So they Farm to Freezer reached out to us and asked us if we were interested, and we were able to buy those strawberries from them, which was pretty cool to have access to things like that. But the hot mold mead that we do in the tap room, that's spices and stuff that come from that we
By the pound. So
pound.
that's like orange peel, black peppercorns, fennel seeds, things like that don't grow in Michigan, and those are straight from by the pound.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. We do, the one spice that we have worked with that we've been able to get here is coriander. Farmers in Ann Arbor who grow enough cilantro that we've been able to get, a paper lunch bag full of coriander.
Garbage bag of coriander. What are you doing with that there? Nothing?
Yep.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, I know that grows here just fine, so I'm sure it grows there just fine.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. That's one of the things I'm going to be planting I go through a lot of cilantro. So that coriander is another one, and it's like I'm forever going, crap, I'm out.
Yeah.
Quickly, like every week, plant another handful.
Pretty much.
Otherwise,
That's
it
about
will burn you.
Yeah. Well, I figure cilantro is going to be a weed like lemon balm. So, I'm just going to sort of
self-seeding. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I figure. I'm just going to sort of plant it like in a circle around the beehive, the bee yard, and let it go to town.
And apparently like shiso too.
Oh yeah, apparently so. I know. I got to look into that. That looks really nice because when I build my deck, I'm wanting, like a hedgy sort of plant. But I'm trying to be in my planting. I'm trying to put in, useful things.
Yeah.
As much as I can. So like ground cover, I'm going to go with creeping thyme and that sort of thing. Stuff that I can use. Unlike the autumn
But
olive.
at least isn't freaking grass.
Yeah, or autumn olive. Damn things. My nemesis. But so okay, now I know we talked about this a little bit earlier, but Nathan was asking. He was saying meaderies are not often known for making sipping vermouth. Please tell us more about how you came to make aperitivo.
That's long. Yeah. So Matt and I went on a trip to northern Spain, the northeast corner to the San Sebastian region to visit Spanish cideries.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, knowing that a lot of it probably wasn't going to be transferable to our cider production just because of the apple varietals they have access to and their style of fermentation, and even their packaging constraints are different than ours. But it was cool to go and learn and experience and try it and whatnot. And while we were at one of those cideries, we were had connected with a friend who put us in touch with somebody there, and they don't normally run tours, but this guy happened to run a tour for us. So we had this kind of private tour, and at the end we were tasting a bunch of the things that they had made, and he was like, let me pour you this. And they had been working on a cider-based vermouth. So the base of it obviously being apples rather than grapes. And it was phenomenal. It was so good and so well balanced and just really interesting.
On that same trip, Lauren kind of skipped over. We were already falling in love with the vermouth culture that we had seen there. We were enjoying the cider culture, but
so many vermouth bars. Just kind of like the vermouth hour of slowing down, having a drink, something herbal, a little bite to eat before dinner. All of it was just delightful. And the vermouths were really fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah. So we came back from that trip feeling very inspired, and it took us about 2 years to get it to market.
We couldn't find any cider-based vermouths here, so we started working on it. When we submitted our formula, When we first submitted our formulas, they came back and said that we were not allowed to call it vermouth because it was not grape based. So here in the US, they decided not to allow that. So then we kind of went to the category above vermouth, which would have been aperitif or aperitivo. So it still falls into this category of, a fortified, aromatized wine product. So yeah, we decided to move forward with the cider base and a bunch of local bittering herbs and aromatics, and then some Michigan fruit as well. And it's been really fun to play with, and just a really completely different profile than anything else we make.
Interesting. I'll have to try that next time I'm down.
Yeah,
So
it's
what
fun.
are you using for your aromatics in that case then?
There's lots of tarragon, garden sage,
Yarrow,
mugwort,
Mm-hmm.
ginger.
anise hyssop. Yeah, there's probably, I don't know, 20 things in there. 25
there's
things in
7 botanicals, and then there's a handful of other blends that come into it later on. The federal government did make us put a tiny bit of wine in it.
Really?
Straight fortified cider.
But they also didn't specify how much, so we could have just dumped like a cup into our 100 gallons of.
We tried. I tried to make it so that it actually had a flavor impact. I wasn't going to add something for no reason other than.
Yeah.
So it does technically have a tiny bit of wine that we buy in bond from northern Michigan, from Maubie in it, and then yeah,
it's been really fun. Yeah, so the inspiration was kind of like a Spanish sipping vermouth. So we started with this red vermouth that's sweet, on the sweeter side, and quite bitter, but kind of refreshing. And then our hope is to start on recipe development for a white and a rosé also.
That is really interesting.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we'd only had a few. It was kind of new to us, and we just kind of dove in.
Sure, why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
we thought we had to use mugwort because we didn't think we could use wormwood, and
yeah, that does raise some things. I think.
And I put wormwood on a formula just for shits one time to see what they'd say, and they let it through, and I was like, oh,
really?
So I don't know. I mean, I know you can talk to a lot of brewers and vintners or whoever anyone want to talk to, and the TTB is quite inconsistent. But that one, so I do have a wormwood approved formula.
Should you decide to go that route, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, if you get one that tastes right, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, we
it tastes a lot like arugula.
Ran into an issue where we ran out of mugwort for a batch that we were making, and we were kind of asking around to some farmer and herbalist friends to see who had mugwort, and we knew a flower farmer who was like, "Oh yeah, I have a bunch growing at my farm." So we ran over and we got a bunch. We got back and we were like, "This is wormwood." Yeah. So we were doing a side-by-side taste, and man, it is
potent.
aggressive. Yeah.
Intense.
It's really, really bitter. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and in enough quantities, it does weird things.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is why they got restrictive on it.
We just had a whole bush of it. So. Yep.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I want to get this one. This is kind of off on the side here, but unfortunately Brad went to bed, but he had asked this and I think we forgot. Any tips for working with sour yeasts?
Yeah. So
I'm curious too for that.
So sour yeast producing lactic acid bacteria during fermentation. The first one I ran was I'm so bad with nouns. I'm sorry. The GMO one from is it Y yeast that makes that one?
Why yeast? Yeah, probably.
Basically they took, as far as I understand, like British ale yeast and GMO genetically modified it to activate the lactic acid pathway in the strain. And I had pretty decent success with that. It really doesn't like it really caps out pretty hard against the acid. So I ended up finishing the first couple of times I used that, finishing the fermentations with DD10. So once you hit your acid, like basically your acid threshold, which is more or less your pH threshold with that yeast. If you watch your pH, you'll see it. Like I think, I don't have the numbers off the top of my head. I'm sorry, but I remember very clearly. I was like, oh, my pH is like just stopped, and it was dry. It was falling fast before that. And the yeast stopped right in lockstep with it. From there, I shifted gears when they came out with the harvested yeast. And again, I'm so bad with names. I apologize. Is
it Sour Vice?
Is Sour Vice the one that's GMO, or is Sour Vice the harvested one from Pennsylvania?
I'm not sure. Arthur was on the chat saying that that's a Lalamand.
So I think Sour Vice is the. Maybe Arthur can answer real quick. Is it Sour Vice? Google it real quick, but.
Yeah, I haven't worked with any sour yeast yet, but I like sour mead.
Philly sour. There we go. So Philly sour is the one that I shifted to, and that doesn't have the same pH threshold. It's as far as I understand, it's a harvested yeast that I'm assuming because it in nature worked a lot more with the acids. It's a lot more tolerant of the acids. So that was one where I didn't have to do a finished fermentation with something else. So big fan of the Philly sour. I think it tastes a lot better too. It doesn't seem to be as nutrient fickle as the Sour VCA.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're, I don't know if they sell Philly sour in smaller quantities than 500 gram bricks, but if you can get your hands on some, it's a great yeast.
I'll have to check that out. It sounds like it. Okay. 2 more Nathan questions. You guys are doing really good.
That's because they're paying attention.
Yeah, right. Your Pints and Pies promotions have been a treat in mead pairing enjoyment. Are there other food and drink centric events that you've explored or want to create or replicate on another scale?
I feel like I could not write better questions myself.
I'll tell Nathan you said so.
Yeah, Pints and Pies. That was fun. We've done a couple fun events with Zingerman's. And we've done some fun chocolate pairings with Mindo Chocolates, which is based out of Dexter. So we've done a couple like really thoughtful pairings with them where we made truffles and different kind of powdered ingredients were like dehydrated and powdered ingredients were mixed into the ganaches to pair with the meads and ciders. So one that comes to mind, not surprisingly that it comes to mind to me, but the rhubarb mead paired really well with this like a salty ganache that they made, and that just kind of like the minerality from the rhubarb and the salt was so nice together. And then we've done some cheese pairings with Zingerman's, which is also just fun because they have such a deep knowledge and their deli team is just so well versed in cheeses and they have such a variety of cheese to choose from. Nice. And I will say that I think sometimes pairing with session meads is tricky because they're not big flavors. They're kind of light, they're delicate, they're kind of fleeting sometimes. So I think it can be a little bit tricky to pair with them, but we've had some really great luck with Zingerman's. We had a batch of cider spontaneously ferment last year. which
Oops.
yeah, weren't really expecting.
When I took delivery on some cider, I got more than I was expecting, so I dropped it into a tank, thinking like, oh, I'll get maybe I'll play with that next week. Otherwise, I don't know what I'll do with it.
Yeah, that's a tendency to do things
6
when
8
you
weeks
do that.
later.
Yeah.
And that was
Positive
not
test.
too that was not too long after we had returned from the trip to Spain, and the flavor profile on that cider was actually pretty interesting. And so Matt rigged up this like homemade spout, and we did like Spanish long pours off of this spout, and did just kind of like a shared table dinner of like breads and cheeses and a lot of tinned fish, and that was great.
Wow.
That was really fun. I would do that again in a heartbeat if we accidentally goofed up another batch of cider.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good question. I feel
Now it's
like
got you thinking, right? That's the idea.
yeah. I'll ponder that. I'll come back next time with some ideas.
Okay.
what future things we want to explore in terms of pairings.
I will put the shout out there. We are looking for any food vendors that are interested in the space and within our space.
Yeah,
So-
any like savory food businesses who would like to move in and be our roommate.
Ah, cool.
We don't have a kitchen. We have like our food prep area, but yeah, just putting that out to the universe.
All right, Southeast Michigan folks, you heard it. I'll have to put that out and let them know. I'll throw something up on the GM page, see if anybody picks up on it.
Perfect.
At least my social media still works, even if my website's cocked up right now. Go figure. It's like, yeah, that's what I wanted to spend my time doing. Okay, and one last Nathan question, and then you're out of the woods. With wet hop meads, are you planning your next new single hop, single honey varietal series as a summer destination feature for your tap room?
Summer destination. So we've done. There's a bike ride that we try and support. That was done with Ann Arbor Running Company. The guy who owns the Ann Arbor Running Company, or used to own, I guess he might. I think he exited. The former owner of Ann Arbor Running Company used to do a bike ride every year.
I can't wait to hear how this is connected.
And we were taking. They on their 100-mile ride, they would ride all the way to my family's farm. And the guy who's like my uncle grows hops out there, and those are the hops that we've used for the wet hop. And in that, that is the closest we have had to a summer outing that would incorporate going to where we got our products from, specifically on the hops, because that came from my parents' farm. But it kind of worked out that it was about the 50-mile mark, so it was about far enough. It was close enough yet far enough away for the bike ride that they were able to go basically ride past the hops on their way back to the road to come back to Ann Arbor. To answer your question, we don't have any other hop varieties planned. Gregory doesn't. Greg's the guy who's like my uncle. And so I have not used any of his Willamette in a fresh, or I might have a couple of years. I might have like 4 or 5 years ago used his Willamette in a fresh hop.
Nathan would know.
But that's usually where I get my fresh hops are from him. So just, I want to, we want to work together and support him and everything. But so there's not any new varieties of hops coming from them or from that farm. But yeah, there are a lot of fun hops grown in Michigan. I'm a big fan of the Michigan hop trials. I have not played with any of those hops wet though. So
okay.
I think the reason that we've been able to and have like pursued doing some wet hop batches in the past is because we know Greg, his tiny hop farm is on Matt's parents' farm. And so we have like an easy connection with him, and it's easy to communicate to know when it's coming and when we can go help him harvest. And so that it's just made the whole thing kind of a process that can be kind of time sensitive and tricky is a little easier because we know Greg so well.
Yeah. And if you are playing with fresh hops, I would. We were talking about the vegetal notes earlier on different things. I don't remember what we were chatting about, but with wet hops, I am a big fan of adding them cold and keeping them cold. You know, they want to rot, they want to break down, and keeping them cold helps them from getting to that funky side. That's not fun. I mean, the breakdown side of it.
You were talking about fennel.
Yeah, thank you. It's past my bedtime, guys. I'm not gonna lie to anybody.
Yeah. It's okay, you guys are basically done. You did really well.
Yeah.
Been up in months, so
Yeah. Rob's saying there's a hop farm up in Alpena.
Yeah.
So if you get up that way.
Yeah, there's quite a few good hop farms. Yeah, there's
although fewer than there were. I
some
feel like a
are
lot
shut
of them
down,
in Michigan closed.
But yeah, Alpena. I'm trying to think if I know the one in Alpena. I'm like
I said, it's past Matt's bedtime.
Yeah, it's past bedtime for sure. Now I got littles too, so but yeah, I definitely want to get back down there and try a wider variety than just one glass and go than I did before.
We'll make sure dinner allows for that. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to plan something out so that there's food happening as well. But yeah, I think that would be fun. I get Tracy there.
Yeah, and outside food is welcome in the tap room. So
Yeah, bring a picnic.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
I'll have to make some more venison pastrami to bring.
Oh yeah.
That came out so well. I got a couple of nice roasts off the dough I got last weekend, so hopefully I'll make another batch.
That's fun.
Good chunk of this.
I've never done a venison pastrami.
No.
Oh yeah, it's really good. I if you want it, I can get the recipe to you. I got it from
Yes, please.
I got it from Dan McNevin up in the Northeast. So I haven't found. I mean, obviously, I have you guys on Facebook. I have the shop on Facebook, but not you.
Lauren's not on Facebook, and I use Facebook to track a few other things like soccer.
Okay, so yeah, just
But we are the business. Anything that goes to the business goes straight to me.
I would like that venison recipe. Yeah. We do a lot of enchiladas and tamales with ours. So.
Oh, I made venison barbacoa a couple weeks ago. It was so good. I could not believe it. Easiest thing in the world too. I couldn't believe how easy it was to make it. And I'm thinking, all this time I've been doing like 5 different things with venison, and there's all these other different things that I've never done. And I grew up on this stuff,
Yeah.
We did the same thing. We started braising the shanks, and we were like, why did we ever do anything else?
Yeah, why do we not do that? Yeah. So yeah, the venison barbacoa went over really well, and it made so much of it that we ended up having to freeze a good chunk of it.
What was you?
Yeah, I have a freezer full of soups and stews and meats and all sorts of things that every time I make some, I make way more than we're ever going to eat. So
Love that.
So yeah, I have to take a picture of that freezer and put it upstairs.
Yeah.
It's like nuts. So much stuff is in there. My husband's like, stop. And I'm like, no.
Real Midwestern point of pride.
Yeah. Well, it is. I like the idea that even if we didn't go to the grocery store for like a month, we'd be fine. I mean, I'd be a little lacking in fresh fruits and vegetables, but this time of year at least. But yeah,
that's what all the preserves are for.
Yeah, right. I mean, I grew up with my grandma preserved everything. I mean, she would have hams hanging in the basement and stuff. So, it's just I'm trying to emulate her in that respect. But yeah, this was cool. This was fun, and I'm sorry we kept you guys up past your bedtime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we lost them. Crap.
Again?
Yeah, their internet must have gone out again. All right.
Oh, man.
Internet's bedtime.
Well, yep.
Yeah.
It's the night.
Hang on. We're gonna do dates and stuff here. So a whole bunch of stuff coming up in December. December 4th, Dancing Skeleton Meadery in Sapulpa, Oklahoma has a trivia night. December 4th, Adesanya Mead Microbrewery in Granville, Michigan has a trivia night. December 5th, Nate and Jake's Meadery in Edmore, Michigan. I did not know about this meadery. Has Locked In playing live music. Let's see. People are like, only one freezer? No, I have 3 freezers, not including the ones that are attached to refrigerators. December 5th to 7th, St. Ambrose Cellars, Beulah, Michigan has a Be Merry Weekend Holiday Festival. Joined. Oh, they're coming back.
Another internet hiccup.
Did your internet go out again?
Well, it didn't look like it, but it must have.
Yeah, it must have just long enough to dump you guys, but
We weren't dodging questions, so
no. I mean, we actually got to the end of that one that time, so just winding up to tell you guys go to bed, so that the kids don't keep you all up and everything, and I'll get up with you.
We missed a number of freezer sound off. I like.
Oh
that.
yeah. I've only got 3. And that's not including the ones that are attached to refrigerators. I've got a chest freezer and 2 uprights.
I love it.
Yeah, plus I've got 3 refrigerators, all of which have freezer units on them as well. So that's what happens when you inherit your parents' house,
Wow.
And my dad, who never throws anything away. So
Amazing.
yeah, every new fridge you got, the other one just got rotated someplace else.
Oh yeah, can't get rid of
If
it.
it's from the 80s, if you unplug it, you'll save $20 a month on your hydro, though.
Oh, I know.
As I learned when I finally unplugged my old one.
Well, we're fixing the really old one. We're fixing to replace it, but for now, it's just hanging out down there because I've got stuff in it still. So
yeah,
but
We took my old Keyser and put it back into a freezer so that we can freeze stuff down.
yeah. Well, I'm thinking about if we retire this as a freezer, I'm thinking about keeping it and converting it into a fermentation chamber so I can do cold, drop and clear and freezing stuff and that kind of thing. So, but we'll see. But yeah, I mean, thanks for coming on, you guys. It's been good having you. And
thanks for having us. It was a blast.
Thanks for thinking of us.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm glad we got that. Oh, Lauren. Oh, you can't hear anything. You were posting. That's because you weren't here.
Yep.
But yeah, it was good talking to you guys, and I'll be seeing you. I'll probably get down there in March when Tracy comes, if not sooner.
Perfect. Give us a shout.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll let you know what the plans are.
All right. Bye, y'all. Thanks for having us on.
Thanks a lot for coming on.
That was great.
Have a good night.
You too.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.
Okay, let's see here. Where were we? Oh, the bee weekend. Okay. December 6th, Slaymaker Cellars in Idaho Springs, Colorado has a meadery tour with tasting. December 6th, Manic Meadery in Crown Point, Indiana has Ornament Palooza. Make your own angel ornaments. December 7th, St. Ambrose Cellars, Beulah, Michigan has their Sunday brunch, and that's every Sunday until at least the spring. And I went that Sunday before last, and it was amazing. It was really, really good. And we're definitely going to be going back. December 9th, the Old Lifeboat House in Penzance in the UK has meadery and a medium. Book ahead. Only 23 spots available. December 12th, Manic Meadery in Crown Point, Indiana has a paint and drink evening. December 13th, Wandering Wind Meadery in Charleston, West Virginia has Christmas at the Meadery. December 13th, St. Ambrose Cellars, Beulah, Michigan has Barefoot playing live music. December 13th, Nate and Jake's Meadery in Edmore, Michigan has a comedy night. December 13th, Crafted Artisan Meadery in Mogador, Ohio has a pressed flower cardinal paint and sip class. December 13th, Honey Tree Meadery in Nashville, Tennessee has pictures with the Krampus. Yeah, right. That should be fun.
Great.
Yeah. You and your kids screaming and running. December 17th, Washtenaw Food Hub in Ann Arbor, Michigan has a community mead making class with Rachel Kanan. December 20th, Doggone Bees Apiary Meadery in Hanover, PA has a mead making class. December 20th and 21st, Birmingham Meadery has their Yule Market, and that's in Milton, Delaware. December 21st, Meadowseld Meadery in Lancaster, PA has a meadery dance. So they just have a night of dancing, which just sounds like fun. December 26th, Windchaser Meadery in Williamsburg, Virginia has a comedy night. December 27th, Four Brothers Mead in Festus, Missouri has Tom Borick and Veronica Mary Agnes playing live music. And December 31st, Iron Sword Meadery in Ridge Springs, South Carolina has a New Year's Eve celebration. And as always, support your local meaderies. And if you don't have a local one, then go to shopmeads.com, mead from all over the country. And it's pretty good. There's a lot of really good stuff in there. So definitely check it out. We are done for the year. So our next show will be on January 13th. In the meanwhile, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and all of those fun holidays. And we'll see you guys after the new year. Get your ideas in as to who we ought to have on the show, too. So y'all be excellent to one another, and we'll see you soon.
Night, everybody.
Take care.
Night all.